Algae. Venus, the primitive thing is related with the algae. And here also in this chapter, we are going to study the introduction of the algae. Algae are green thallophytic cryptogams. Name algae for the first time was introduced by Linnaeus, Carl Linnaeus, in year 1753. One of the important plant group alga is a singular and algae it's plural. So word algae is derived from Latin word named as a alga and its meaning is seaweed. The Greek word for algae is phykos, Phykos. Its meaning is seaweed, and hence science dealing with study of algae is called as algology or phycology. And the scientist who is engaged in the study of algae is phycologist. K.R. Kirtikar was the first Indian phycologist. Algae are chlorophyllous thallophytes, means having ability of photosynthesis. Chlorophyllous means having chlorophyll pigments. Algae are small autotrophic plants that fail to show any cellular differentiation. Algal body do not show cellular differentiation. Their sex organs are unicellular, and if multicellular, all cells are fertile. Iyengar, who is considered as a father of Indian algology or phycology. After this introduction, one can see here in this figure, some forms of algae like Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Holvox, then forms like Vaucheria, Hydrodictyon, or Spirogyra, Cladophora, like this. You can see here in this figure some photographs of different forms of algae. You can see here the form like Chlamydomonas, microcystis, anabiana, blue-green algae, forms of diatoms. This is ulva, sargassum. So like these different forms we can see over here. So after looking towards different forms, we will see some general characters related with the group algae. So for the first time, we will see related with the habitat. Means the surrounding in which algae grow, that is the habitat. So algae are universal in occurrence, occurs everywhere. They may be terrestrial, maybe subterranean, that is under soil surface, maybe epiphytic, maybe aquatic. The aquatic forms grows in still water or running water. Algae may be free floating, and if they are free floating, call it as a planktonic. If they are attached or submerged, called it as a benthic. Some grows on ice or snow and are called cryophytes. Some grow in hot springs. Such algae are called as a thermophytes. Some other algae grow on other plants and they are called epiphytes. Some algae grow on stones or rocks. Present in water reservoir and they are called as epilithic. Some grows on sand or mud of water reservoir and they are called as epipelic. Many forms of algae are marine algae and occur in seawater. Some forms are endophytes, some are parasites, and some may grow as symbionts. So after habitat, habit. So algae like Chlamydomonas, they are unicellular and microscopic. Some seaweeds or algae present in the seed, they measure up to 180 meters. For example, macrocystis, they grow in ocean. Some algae are unicellular, maybe motile or non-motile. Other algae are colonial. In some algae, thallus is filamentous. In some algae, this filamentous thallus gets aggregated to produce pseudoparenchymatous thallus. Now cell contents of the algae. See, algal cell has cellulosic cell wall made up of cell wall made up of the cellulose. Some forms are prokaryotic. For example, cyanophyta, while others are mostly eukaryotic and have well-defined nucleus, chloroplast, and pyrimide surrounded by starch grains. Endoplasmic reticulum they are having. Mitochondria they are there in the cell. Golgi bodies are there. Some algae have flagella. Some have mucilagous envelope. Or such envelope may not be there in some other algae. Some have absence of cell wall, for example, iglunites. Then related with the character related with the nutrition, their reserve food and pigmentation. Algae are simple autotrophic organisms. Some have ability to fix atmospheric nitrogen. For example, cyanophyta members. While few forms are heterotrophic or parasitic. Heterotrophic, that is, they can't prepare their food and thus becomes parasite for taking food material. For example, Cephalorus. The algal food reserve is starch in case of chlorophyce. Paramylum starch in case of iglonophyce. Floridian starch in case of rhodophyce. And Mixophycean starch in case of blue-green algae. And lastly, laminarian starch in case of Phaeophyce, that is brown algae. Different types of chlorophylls are also there in the algae, along with carotenes, xanthophylls, phycobilins, then bluish colored phycocyanin and reddish colored phycoerythrin. See, different types of photosynthetic pigments we are enlisting in the algae. Then chlorophyll A is everywhere in the algae. It is of universal occurrence, we can say, in all algae there. Chlorophyll pigments, chlorophyll A is there. Chlorophyll B and chlorophyll C and D, they are found in red algae, only in red algae. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C and chlorophyll D, they are there in red algae only. While chlorophyll E is found only in xanthophyce. How algae reproduce? The another character related with the algal reproduction. Algae reproduce vegetatively, asexually and by sexual method. In blue-green algae, sexual reproduction is absent. Few things related with the vegetative reproduction now. Vegetative reproduction, it takes place by parts or part of plant body which separates up to give rise to new plant. Unicellular forms of algae reproduce by cell division, and type of cell division is a binary fission or by means of fragmentation. Now asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction in case of algae, that is with the help of spores. These spores, they may be flagellated structures, and when flagella is there, they are called as zoospores, or maybe aplanospores. So aplanospores are thin-walled and non-motile, or hypnospores. So hypnospores, they are thick-walled aplanospores, maybe with the help of cysts. Now, sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in algae is by gamete formation, and these gametes are formed under unfavorable conditions. Male and female gametes may be present in the one and the same plant. Sexual reproduction may be isogamous or heterogamous. Isogamous means gametes of similar morphology or similar size and shape. Such two gametes, they fuse and sexual reproduction takes place. Or maybe heterogamous. It is also called as a anisogamous type of sexual reproduction, where dissimilar size gametes, they fuse. Now how fertilization? So fertilization may be of isogamous type or anisogamous type of fertilization, and it takes place outside the gametangia, and if this is the situation, it is called as a external fertilization. And in case of oogamous method, male gametes are motile. So these male gametes, they swim to the stationary oogonium, and fertilization takes place inside the oogonium, and hence it is called as a internal fertilization. So fertilization is of two types: external fertilization and internal fertilization. So after fertilization, zygote is produced. So zygote is a product of sexual reproduction. Zygote represents sporophytic phase. Majority of algae are where gametophytic phase is dominant phase in the life cycle in majority of the algae. Zygote may undergo period of rest or may immediately germinate. Now growth pattern. So algal growth, actually it is controlled by the hormones. Growth may be generalized, that is growth throughout the body, or growth may be localized, where growth takes place in the apical region, maybe in the basal region, or maybe intercalary, that is in between the cells. Now, the last general character of algae is related with the life cycle pattern. What type of life cycle pattern is there in the algae? So life cycle of algae may be haploid or may be diploid. Some plants are haploid and produces haploid gametes, and only zygote is the diploid. For example, Spirogyra. In few algae, both haploid and diploid plants are morphologically similar. They produce alternately haploid and diploid generations and are called isomorphic alternation of generation. An example of such type of alga is Cladophora. In some brown algae, diploid form is dominant or large and macroscopic, while haploid form is microscopic. These two forms, haploid and diploid, they alternate with each other and it is called as a heteromorphic alternation of generation, and its example is a laminaria. So these are the different general characters related with the